Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you today for joining me on another video. And today's video is going to be something that I've done in the past, but before we get to the video, I want to explain something to you guys, and that is the concept behind these videos. So the last time I made a video like this, I was crucified in the comments and basically told off by every BlackBerry owner that I was not old enough to have a YouTube channel and I was not smart enough to use a BlackBerry device. So let me explain this concept to you guys. When I make a video saying the things I hate about a phone and the things I love about a phone, I make both of these videos. I don't just make one, and I'm not biased just towards hating on a device or loving a device. I try to find both goods and bads that come with the ownership experience, and by doing so, I'm trying to help potential buyers who are trying to find out what phone that they might like and what issues they might face when they're using these phones and when they buy these phones. Now, if you guys think that I'm being biased, so be it. This is my personal opinion, and this is what I think about it. So yes, I am biased, but I'm trying to stay as objective as possible. And for you guys who are interested, check out my other video on things I love about the iPhone 8 Plus. There's a lot to love about this phone as well, and overall I love it. I've been using it as my daily driver for quite some time now, ever since it came out, and it's been very, very good to me. It's the best way to describe this phone, as I say in the other video as well. It's boring. It gets the job done, and there's nothing very special about it. So let's get into the 7 reasons why I hate the iPhone 8 Plus. And the first one has to be the screen to body ratio. Comparing it to any phone that has come out this year, the screen to body ratio, except the Pixel 2, I'll leave that for a different story, but every other phone has such an amazing screen to body ratio, and they just look futuristic. Just look at the Galaxy S8. That phone came out more than 6 months ago, and it looks so much better than the 8 Plus does. And I'm just very impressed what the other companies are doing, and I'm very disappointed with what Apple is still doing with keeping these older designs around when they should at least try to make these screens better. Now they're trying to do that with the iPhone 10, but until that phone comes out, I can't really speak for anything much. So I'm going to compare it on what's out right now. Number 2. The inbox charger is pathetic. It is horrible, and it charges extremely slowly. So I did another video on the channel, I'll have a link to that below as well, where I compared the normal wireless charging, the out-of-the-box charger of the Galaxy S8 and the iPhone 8 Plus. And despite having the smaller battery, the iPhone took significantly, I think it was almost 2 times as long as the Galaxy S8 did. And it's ridiculous because, come on, Apple, you can include a better charger out of the box, especially for the 8 Plus, which we're paying very close to $1,000 for. And after taxes, it's definitely $1,000. So I don't understand why Apple is hesitant on including a charger when they can, especially for the Plus models, because they have the larger batteries and they need to be charged quicker. Again, it is the Apple tax, Apple capitalism, where they want you to pay extra for everything. I understand that concept as a business student. I appreciate that concept, but as a consumer, I am extremely pissed. I don't like it, and I really wish that Apple included a better charger. Now, personally, I don't have an issue because I just picked up a few iPad chargers, and I have an iPad, so I have a charger for it already, which I generally use to charge up everything else. Now, for the people who don't have it, that's where the problem is. So you'll have to shell out more money on top of your already expensive phone to access a feature that they claim is there. So I'm very upset with that. Number 3, the boring design. Oh my God, this design is now running on 4 years old. So we've had a similar design language from the iPhone 6, 6S, 7, and now the 8. So 4 model years we've had basically the same phone, and it's gotten boring. It's gotten long in the tooth. Apple should have very much refreshed, or at least did something a little bit more different. I mean, they did try to they did bring out these new colors. They did bring out the glass back, which is for wireless charging and all that, but I still feel like it doesn't do much. Put a case on the phone, and you will not be able to distinguish the 8 Plus from the 7 Plus. I guarantee you. I make the confusion so many times because they're, at the end of the day, the same phone. It's the same chassis, just a little bit of a different build material and different colors. Number 4, there have been no real additions of features over the 7 to the 8. So there's always that software upgrade, and I know that Apple considers this more of an S upgrade, which is just a speed upgrade, but generally with S upgrades, because we don't get a design refresh, we're used to seeing some more features, some new distinguishing functionality that really boosts the phone. So with the 5 to the 5S, we saw the Touch ID. With 6 to the 6S, we saw Force Touch. And with the 7 to 8, the only real discernible addition here is wireless charging. Now, wireless charging is a different story, and even as an iPhone user who's had the phone for over a month, I really don't use wireless charging. The only reason I've even used wireless charging is because I wanted to film a few videos with it. And after that, I just used wired chargers, as I'm sure most other iPhone users do as well. I'm sure the actual people who are enjoying these wireless charging capabilities are not as a majority. They're a very small group of people. Apple has definitely gotten a little bit more lazy, and I'm not going to be using the iPhone X as a comparison standpoint here because the iPhone X I feel like is a standalone phone. It doesn't really match into the product lineup here, and that price point which it's at, it really isn't comparable to what the past is. So it's very annoying to me that the feature set has not grown in any real way. We do have 4K 60 FPS filming, but again, another issue is that a lot of users still, including me, don't have 4K displays yet. So without 4K displays, having 4K content is useless. Now, for the bunch of you who do have 4K displays and 4K content, there you go. You have one more feature, which is still very negligible in my opinion. Number 5. Now, this goes towards, this is a little bit of a love-hate relationship for me, the glass on the back. So when you look at the phone initially, it looks very cool. The glass is very sleek, and the color, it just looks very cool. The issue with this glass is it is so prone to scratching and fingerprints that it's ridiculous. Just using the phone for a few minutes causes it to scratch up and to, not scratch up, but get the smudges all over. And even if you keep cleaning the phone, keep doing, just trying to keep it clean, you can't. This phone is going to be a fingerprint and dust magnet, and any little speck of dust, any little fingerprint is going to be very visibly seen. Second thing is the scratching. So this glass is very prone to scratching. Apple said it's their toughest glass ever, and it's one of the most durable, I believe. It's not. It doesn't seem like it, and we've seen in many tests that other YouTubers have done that the back glass is not as strong as they suggest. It's in fact very weak. One flat drop on the back from 5 feet is going to destroy it. Number 6. Now, this isn't a gripe with the iPhone 8 Plus, but it is a gripe with Apple on a whole. iOS. iOS is very stale. It has been stale for a long time, and they haven't given it a fresh look for 5 years. So for 5 years, we've carried over the same basic design. So from the iPhone 5S till now, we have the basically same design language. So it's gotten very boring, and I'm feeling like it's in a dire need of a complete overhaul, especially with the way that Android phones are now looking. They just look a little bit more futuristic, a little bit more neater and cooler, which was the opposite a few years ago when the iPhone looked a lot better and the Androids were a mess. So Apple really needs to step up their game when it comes to design as well. It's just way too boring now. I've gotten tired of looking at just a row of icons, and it's not really interesting anymore. Number 7. So this is something that I've felt for a while now, and even being a Samsung hater a few years ago, that there's one thing I could never ever deny, and that was how good the front camera on the Galaxy phones were, because they had a nice wide-angle lens. Now, whenever you're taking a selfie, it's generally just an arm's way away from you, so maybe 2.5 feet, maybe 3 feet, so you don't have a lot of distance between you and the camera. So having a wide-angle lens means you can get more into the shot, you can have a group selfie, you can have more people in the frame, and overall, it's very, very useful. But the iPhone has a it has a close-up kind of angle, and it doesn't look good in my opinion. There's just not much you can do with that much of a close-up. And I'll have some comparison photos for you right here, and you can see how much of a difference just the Galaxy S8 and the iPhone 8 Plus has. And I'm sure every one of you will agree with me that the 8 Plus just looks a lot better, mostly because of how nice and wide the frame is and how much information and detail you get in there. So that was it, guys. There's the 7 things I hate about the iPhone 8 Plus. Now, as I told you guys, don't take this video as a Apple hate video or me hating on the phone. I love the phone. I've been using it as my daily driver ever since it came out, and I have no complaints with it on a major whole. I've loved using it, but there are some things that I don't like about it, and I want you guys, I want consumers to know this so that when they make the decision of spending close to $1,000, that they're making the right decision, and they don't, buy the phone and then feel bad that, oh, I didn't know about this. If I knew about it, I may have gone to some other device. So knowing the bad with the good is very important. And I recommend that you also check out the other video I made about the things I love about the phone. There are things that you will love about the phone. Again, at the end of the day, it is an iPhone, so there's that familiarity. It's very good with, the Apple ecosystem. If you have a MacBook or a Mac, it works excellent with that. So all that is still there. But the only main issue is that they still have a little bit of catching up to do. They're still a few years behind what a lot of other companies were. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to follow me on social media, I'll have all the links down below. I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, as well as a lot of interesting, just my thoughts and stuff. So be sure to check that out. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.